I'm working on my Ford Explorer, have been for a while, and just wanted to show you something I found. This is kind of what got me started on a rebuild project, and it was the noise that was coming from the engine. So I'm going to show you a quick startup video to show you what my engine sounded like, and that led me to pull the engine twice before I figured out what was actually causing it. So here you go, check this out. All right, so you're gonna hear way more than timing chain flop. This is real bad. Oh, the wipers are going. Yeah, you can hear that. Shut it down. So I pulled the engine the first time, and sure enough, the timing chains, both the front and back, were bad. Everything in the front, behind the front cover, was totally destroyed in terms of all the plastic guides and tensioners and things in there. But what I thought was a spun bearing actually wasn't. It was instead the jack shaft chain on the front of the engine slapping against its tensioner. And so I want to show you this piece and what was going on, and I'll show you where you can find that. Okay, this is the jack shaft chain tensioner, and what this does, this goes behind the front cover. You take off this piece, this bracketing, you take the belt and fan off, you take off your alternator and that bracket, and this is the water pump down here. You don't need to take the water pump, oh, I'm sorry, that's the tensioner pulley. The water pump's below that. You don't actually need to take the water pump off the front cover, just take the front cover off, and behind the front cover is your jack shaft chain, which goes vertically. So what this does is this sits on this side of that chain and pushes and puts tension on it to keep it from moving. But what was happening, the really loud noise that I discovered is the chain running down this way would get slack and then tighten as the engine rotated. And so that really loud noise is actually the chain smacking against this. So the first time I pulled the engine, sure enough, I had everything destroyed. Well, then that noise started again, and I popped my valve cover up and I saw the rear timing chain was destroyed again. So that led me to think I'm gonna have to pull the engine and to get rid of this noise and whatnot. And so anyway, so I pulled the engine, and sure enough, yeah, it was all destroyed back there. I had to put a new rear timing chain in, guide in again. But I was manually turning the engine over just to check and see if there were any other noises, and I heard this clicking still, and it was coming from the front of the engine. I was like, what in the world? Is the front timing chain something destroyed? So I took the front cover off, and that's what I discovered. This is actually the piece that I'm showing you that I found, and let me show you what was wrong with it. Okay, so when you install this, there's two screws, and then there's a pin that goes through this slot right here that holds the leaf springs in place, so you can get this in, and then you pull this pin out, and then the leaf springs go into place and put tension on the chain. Well, look at what's going on here. This little sheath right here that pin that you pull out goes through started to work its way out. And not only that, this is supposed to sit down behind this bracket. And so these leaf springs are way up here, and this thing is way out of place. And this tube right here needs to actually be pushed in, and then this would sit back down in place. And so something happened in there to cause these leaf springs to slide up and stay up out of the way and not put tension on the jack shaft bolt. Now, I'm not sure if this was a bad part. That's my guess, is that this piece is just not doing what it's supposed to do. However, it's also possible just the wear of the engine, of the chain going by it, moved things and adjusted things and moved this out of place. So, or maybe a combination of a bad part and just the normal wear of the engine. So I'm not sure exactly. I only got 3,000 miles out of this before it went bad. So if you've got your engine sounding like that noise, I would definitely recommend checking this before you pull the engine, because even if your rear timing chain cassette is shot, it's probably not what's making that noise. I had that noise at the beginning. That's what set me on the course of pulling the engine the first time, and I could not find any videos that highlighted this specific noise. So everything pointed to the rear timing chain cassettes being out, which they were, but that was a different noise, not quite as bad as this one. And so I just thought I'd make this video and give you a heads up in case you have the same kind of issue. So hope you have a great day, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe if this is helpful for you. Hope whatever project you're working on goes great, and just to encourage you, I just want to say you got this.